Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. So today's video is going to be a rotation get ready with me, which is basically when I just do a makeup look with all the most recent products that I've purchased from my last few first impressions videos. There was a couple products that I mentioned in my last two videos that I wanted to try for the first time in this video. For example, we're going to try the W7 Legend Lasting Wear Foundation today because I've not tried this yet. And I did also say that I'd use these two W7 concealers, the HD and the Oh So Sensitive, because I didn't get to use those on my face in my W7 video. I am planning on going out this evening, so I need to make sure that this makeup look is presentable because it's going to be on all night. So I very much hope that this foundation performs well. To be fair, from past experience with W7 foundations, they do tend to wear really well, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm also worried about the colour. It may need a mixer because I can't be orange today. I just can't do it. So I'm going to start with eyeshadow. So I'm just going to pop a bit of primer on my eyes. I'm using Technic Eye Canvas. This isn't in my rotation. It's just the one that I tend to use when I'm doing eyeshadow. It's a really good eye base. So I'm just going to pop some of this on my eyelids. So I only actually have one eyeshadow palette in my rotation, which is the W7 Romanced Neutrals in Love palette, which looks like this. So I did use this in my testing W7 video, and I wasn't super impressed with it. It's not awful or anything, but it wasn't, I don't know, I just have palettes that I think are a lot better, especially when it comes to neutrals. But of course we will make it work today. I do also have some glitter liners from W7, so these are their Metal Flash Metallic Glitter Eyeliners. And I kind of got it in my head that I want to do a look where I sort of put one of the glitters like sort of all over like a cut crease, because I want a sort of like glam look. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So obviously it's going to be a fairly neutral look because that's kind of what we've got here. I'm going to just do one eye off camera and then I will repeat it on the other eye, so I will be back with one eye done. Okay, we are back with one pretty glam eye that I'm quite happy with actually. So let's do that all again. Okay, so we started with the shade Desire, the sort of dark maroony shade here. And that's just going in the general crease area. And then above that I'm adding a bit of the shade Fling, which is just a light brown shade, just to sort of diffuse it out. Then I'm going in with the black shade called Black Book, this one at the end here, and just sort of working that in the outer third mostly. And then going in with the creamy white matte shade called Infatuation up here, and that's just going under the brow bone. So now I'm just using my Technic Eye Canvas and I'm going to do quite a large cut crease. Okay, and I'm using the white creamy shade Infatuation again, and that's going all over that cut crease. And I'm using the shade Crush, which is a sort of dark pink metallic, and I'm just kind of using that in the outer third, just to sort of blend the cut crease out to the smoke. just doing a little bit of blending with black in the outer corner. Okay, so I've just cleaned up the edge a bit with a wipe, and I'm now going to use the W7 Metal Flash Metallic Glitter Eyeliner, and this is the silver shade. I don't actually have shade names on them, but it's the silver one. And I've basically just coated the entire cut crease with this. Just give that nice metallic look. So yeah, I'm just gonna engross the whole thing in silver glitter. Next, my plan was to use the Sosu liquid pen eyeliner. However, I just discovered that this is completely dried out and not usable. So and that was the only liquid eyeliner I had in my rotation. So I've just had to use my NYX Epic Ink liner just to do a pretty standard wing. So for eyeliner in the waterline, I have 3 options. So I've got the Pixie Endless Silky Eye pen. I've got the W7 Oh My Gel, it's waterproof soft gel eyeliner. I've got the Sosu Extreme Kohl pencil. I think I'm going to use the W7 one just because from what I've experienced so far, this one seems to smudge in the inner corner the least. And that's kind of important to me when I'm going out. So I'm just going to apply this in my top and bottom waterlines. So I have 3 mascaras in my rotation. So I've got the Gosh Boombastic Overdose mascara, I've got the Gosh Catchy Eyes Drama mascara, and the Maybelline Sky High mascara. Now, I'm thinking about maybe putting some falsies on later, but I've not decided yet. So I will put some mascara on, but I'll probably just keep it a light layer. And I think I'll use the Maybelline one because I am quite liking this. To be fair, I do like all 3 of those mascaras actually, they're all pretty good. I'm not going to layer too much up just because sometimes that causes problems for me if I then put false lashes on, but again, I've not decided if I want to wear them or not yet. Okay, so moving on to base, I have 2 primers in my rotation. I've got the W7 It's Glow Prime Radiant Primer, and I've got the Catrice Sensational Primer, and I think I'm going to use the Catrice one just because I am preferring this one so far. I really like this because it's like smoothing but glowy at the same time. So I'm just going to apply this pretty much all over my face. Okay, so as I said earlier, we're going to use the W7 Legend Lasting Wear Foundation. This is a first impression, I've not tried this yet. The shade is Buff, I have a feeling it's going to be a bit dark. Let me just get it on the back of my hand. Actually, before we use that, I'm just going to put a little bit of green colour corrector on. I don't have a new one or anything, this is just a collection one that's really old. My skin's just being really my skin is just very problematic right now, so I just want a little bit of this on under the foundation, just in case we don't get enough coverage. Yeah, the shade definitely looks a little bit orangey, so I'm going to have to put some white mixer in with this because I can't be dealing with being completely orange today. I'm not sure I've mixed this the best, but I'm just going to blend this in all over and hope for the best. I can already tell it's definitely a little bit oily, the formula of it, which is a common thing I have with W7 foundations. it just kind of reminds me of pretty much all the other W7 foundations. It's got that really sort of, it just looks quite oily, which I'm not massively into like a really oily finish. It's just not personally what I like. It's quite thick, it's quite heavy. It has given a decent amount of coverage, I will give it that. But I don't know, I just don't love this finish. I just feel like it looks quite heavy. It's quite heavy, it just looks quite oily. Not the best in my pores, but I mean it doesn't look too bad. It looks okay. I'm definitely happy to wear it for the rest of the evening. Obviously I will just need to put a lot of powder on. Now I want a bit of a brighter under eye, so I'm going to use the W7 It's a Matte Made in Heaven, which is in the shade Fair Cool One. I'm going to use that for under the eyes, and then I think I'll just use the HD concealer to just do over blemishes. So the It's a Matte Made in Heaven concealer is actually quite a good brightening shade. It's quite pale, and I actually do quite like the coverage of it. It was quite impressive pretty much all of the W7 concealers I tried. So I'm just going to use some of that under the eyes. So I'm just going to then use the HD concealer and just pop a bit of that just over blemishes. It's a little bit darker than the Matte Made in Heaven one. It's still reasonably fair though. Okay, for powder I've got two loose ones. So I've got the Huda Beauty Sugar Cookie W7 Bright Eyes. I'm going to use the Huda Beauty one for my under eyes today because wasn't mad about the W7 one to be honest. And then I think I'll use one of my pressed powders for the rest of my face. Powders, I've got the Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Powder Foundation, I've got the Revolution Super Matte Powder, the Catrice 5-in-1 Setting Powder, and the Gosh Dextreme High Coverage Powder. Originally I was going to use the Gosh one in this video, but I have used it a few times and I do feel like it makes me a little bit orangey, which I don't really want today. So I think I'm going to use the Revolution one today actually, which I am quite liking. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and mattify the rest of my face. Okay, now moving on to cheeks. For bronzer, I've got a lot of options. I've got the Catrice Desert Dunes palette, which has bronzers and highlighters in. The Revolution Splendor Ultra Matte Bronzer in Fair. I've got two of the Catrice Bronzing Babe of the Dunes. They're in different shades. Got the L'Oreal Bronze to Paradise in 01 Temptation. And also the Bronze Icon by W7. I'm going to use the L'Oreal one, the Bronze to Paradise one, I think. And I'm just going to put this in the usual bronzing spots. This is a really good bronzer. It works good for fair skin. Also going to layer a bit of this Catrice Bronzing Babe of the Dunes. This one is in 010 Central Burn. It's a bit more glowy. I'm just going to layer a bit of that over the top of my bronzer as well. Give it a bit more of a sort of glow. The highlighter, I've obviously got that Catrice palette. I've got the Matte Factor Face Finity highlighter, the Physicians Formula Butter highlighter, the Catrice More Than Glow highlighter, also the Spectrum Oceana highlighter. I think I might use the Spectrum one actually. Yeah, I'm going to use the Spectrum one and just pop this in the usual highlighter spots. It's quite like a pale sort of, it's a pale gold sort of shade. For brows, I've got 3 gels. I've got the Florence by Mills Tint and Tame Brow Gel. I've got the Catrice Volume and Lift Brow Mascara. Also have the Beauty Bay Brow Fixer. I think I'm going to use the Catrice one. So I'm just going to brush this through my brows. eyebrow pencil, I have the W7 Very Vegan pencil. I've got the Sosu Eye Voltage eyebrow pencil and also the Sigma Fill and Blend brow pencil. And I think I'm going to use the W7 one today just to structure my brows a little bit more, although the gel's done a pretty good job. I'm going to put a bit of the Catrice Mauve highlighter in my inner corners. Okay, so going back to the eyeshadow palette, I'm taking the Desire shade, the maroony colour, and I'm just going to start by whacking this on the lower lash line and see where that goes. And using a little bit of the light brown that I used earlier underneath. And I'm going to use a little bit of the black just right on the lash line. Adding a bit more of the Maybelline mascara to my bottom lashes. Lips, I'm going to start by using the W7 Lip Twister in the shade Nude. I've got 3 lipsticks in my rotation. I've got the Milani Bold Colour Statement Matte Lipstick in 05 I Am Pretty. I've got the Sosu Matte Lipstick in Who Me, and I've got the W7. I've got one of the W7 Major Mattes in Original. I think I'm going to use the Milani one. Okay, that actually came out a lot more matte today. When I used my first impressions, it was a lot more like creamier and oilier, but it's definitely a lot matter today when I've used it. Okay, so that's pretty much all of the makeup applied, so I'm just gonna go ahead, sort my hair out, maybe stick some false lashes on, we'll see, and I'll be back with the finished look. Okay, so we're back with the finished look. Overall, it's just a pretty standard glam look. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think the eyeshadow looked pretty good actually, especially considering I'm not the biggest fan of that palette. I still feel like I got a decent look out of it. The base, I'm not in love with this base. I'm not in love with the base makeup. I feel like I just look a bit cakey. I don't know, the colour match isn't perfect, but I mean, but it will do. Cheap products all great, eyebrows great, most of it has performed pretty well, to be honest. So yeah, that is all for this video. I will see you in my next one. Goodbye.